Hello and welcome. My name is Rachel and I'm going to take you along as I do a parasite cleanse. This is not my normal content, but I do think it's important. I was looking into this parasite cleanse, which is the Parafy Kit by RogersHood. It's very popular and I've heard lots of good things, but I haven't seen any reviews like this. So I wanted to fill this hole by doing the cleanse myself and sharing my experiences with you. My goal is to walk you through my 5-week experience using the Parafy Kit to see what happens in my body and what information might be helpful to you if you're considering doing this parasite cleanse too. Normally I make videos on homemaking, cooking, baking, taking care of my family, in my garden, my chickens, things like that. But behind the scenes, I've been struggling with some invisible symptoms, as I like to call them. Random things that don't quite work right in my body. And most people can't see them. If you interact with me, I seem fine and healthy. But these things get to me on a day-to-day, and they make my job harder as a wife, as a mom, as a homemaker, all of these things. And I just really want to be healthy. Some of these invisible symptoms include tingly feet. Whenever I wake up in the morning and I step on the floor, it feels like I'm stepping on pins and needles for about the first 10 steps I take. Brain fog. Quite a bit of brain fog that has gotten progressively worse over the past couple of years. I rarely wake up feeling rested. I'm awake at nighttime and so tired in the morning. If I could sleep until 9 a.m. every day, I would love that. The last one I'll share is unexplained weight gain. It was about 2 years ago probably, and in 2 months I gained 10 pounds, and I have no idea why. And it has stayed on my body ever since, and the number has continued to go up. And I have no idea why that's happening. So my goal is to find the root cause for myself. I've gotten some testing done, I've done so much research and looked at so many symptoms lists, but I really just need to find the root cause for what seems like a lot of inflammation and distress in my body. I've never done a cleanse like this before, and I haven't known anyone else to do a cleanse like this either. But once you start learning about these little things called parasites in your body, you really want them to leave. They are super gross, knowing that they could be in my body and wreaking havoc without me knowing or doing anything about it. So as I do this cleanse, I'm going to take you along with me so you can see each step of the process. And I will be talking about bodily functions, but I assure you I will not be showing any. You can look up pictures on your own if you'd like to see what things look like, but I will not be showing any of that on camera, just in case you are concerned. I chose the Parafy Kit because I've seen it get a lot of good reviews online from other content creators and just looking at the website and its reviews. I liked that it was affordable and I liked that it was all natural. The woman who made the kit, her name is Kim Rogers, and she runs RogersHood Apothecary. I've watched a lot of her content. She's been on lots of podcasts and shared lots of great information. And so I'm hoping I'm able to share a little bit of that with you too as I go through the process. So let's look at the box I received in the mail when I ordered my Parafy Kit. I paid for this with my own money. Kim Rogers has no idea who I am, but hopefully this will help other people who are also pursuing using her parasite cleanse. RogersHood Apothecary, which is again the brand. Inside you'll find a sticker. It says got worms. Kim Rogers is affectionately known as the Worm Queen, so that makes sense. Here we have instructions on how to do the 30-day Parafy Parasite Cleanse. So the Gutty pre-cleanse, which I got because I ordered the Ultimate Parafy Kit. You can also buy that separately. And then how to do the main tincture parasite cleanse. There are also special instructions for children. This cleanse can be used for kids as young as 3 years old. On the back, you'll see some tips, some possible die-off symptoms, and what all of the ingredients are and what they target. It's packaged very well because the tinctures are in glass bottles. Here we have Parafy. This is the parasite cleanse. It's a 3-in-1. So we also see that we have Sustain, and this is a Candida cleanse. Metal Flush is for heavy metals. And Cinnabin is a binder. This is a capsule. Under all of this, if you get a larger kit, you'll also find the fulvic soak and 3 packets of Gutty. I've already used one, which is why it's not in here. 3 packets of Gutty. This is the pre-parasite cleanse. I'm going to give you a quick overview of these products and how you use them during the cleanse. I got the bigger kit, so I got Gutty included in my packet. Gutty is a pre-parasite cleanse, so you take this mixture for 3 days before you start the actual cleanse, and it is to remove any excess junk, waste, buildup that is in your intestines. It's very important that when you're cleansing, your detox pathways are open. Your detox pathways are peeing, pooping, and perspiring. You need to be doing all of those so any of the yucky stuff that these cleanses shake loose can actually exit your body instead of just being redistributed somewhere else. So Gutty is for 3 days, and then you take a 4-day break, and then you start your tinctures. You have 3 tinctures with 3 different jobs during your cleanse. You have a parasite cleanse, a candida cleanse, and a heavy metal cleanse. So in the morning before breakfast, you'll take 15 drops of each, and I like to use these little stainless steel shot glasses. I have these for other tinctures that our family uses, and so you'll put 15 drops in here, and then I like to top it off with some juice, grape juice or cranberry juice, something to help with the flavor a bit, because no one ever said tinctures tasted good, even though they do work, but they don't taste good. So a little bit of juice in there helps a lot. You'll take all 3 before breakfast, and then you'll take 2 before lunch, the Parafy and the Metal Flush, and then before dinner, you'll take all 3 again. Again, all these instructions are listed here, but I just wanna give you a quick overview. Before breakfast, before lunch, before dinner, and then before bed, you take your Cinnabon binder. So again, as you're shaking all of these things loose in your body, as you're letting go of the candida and the heavy metals and the parasites and the toxins and everything else, you want to make sure that they actually leave your body. So the binder pulls them in, make sure they go in your poop and leave your body. The last piece I have is the fulvic soak. This is a foot soak that you can do anytime throughout the cleanse, and it's another way to help remove toxins and heavy metals. Your feet have some of the largest pores, if not the largest, on your body, and so things can be moved in and out of your feet, which seems kind of weird, but it can, and I've heard a lot of interesting stories because of it. So the fulvic soak, you can do that anytime. You just soak your feet in it, and then I've seen pictures. If you let it rest for like 30 minutes and then take a picture with the flash on your phone, you can see stuff floating in the water. So I'm excited to give that a try in a really gross way. The kit does give a heads up on some die-off symptoms that you could experience as your body is getting rid of this stuff. They include headache, dizziness, constipation, diarrhea, sore throat, bloating, gas, skin breakouts, anxiety, depression, irritability, and fatigue. And I've done a lot of learning on this too, as I've heard from different podcast hosts and things. As you parasite cleanse, it is a toll on your body, but it can also be a toll on your mind. So I'm very curious if I'm going to experience any of that. Some people have talked about having flu-like symptoms as their body gets rid of the junk. Some people have said that they remember random things like from when they were 8 years old, and like memories pop out of nowhere. Or you beat yourself up because of that one thing you did when you were 6 on the playground, like weird stuff like that. So that's, again, one of the reasons I wanted to share this journey with you, is to see if I have any die-off symptoms, maybe what day they occur, if I see any worms pass, what day that occurs, you know, how my body processes this 30-day cleanse. And mine's actually a little bit longer because I'll do the Gutty for 3 days, take a 4-day break, then start the 30-day parasite cleanse. I'm excited to start this cleanse. I'm ready to start feeling better. If there are indeed parasites or whatever in my gut messing everything up, I would like them evicted so I can start feeling better. Thank you to Kim Rogers and the whole RogersHood team for putting this kit together. I hope I have a glowing review for you at the end and I can share it with everybody. I have taken some stats for myself, my weight, my measurements, stuff like that. I won't be sharing them on here, but I will be able to report back then to see if anything has changed. So without further ado, let's get to day 1 and Gutty. Good morning. It's time to take my Gutty packet. Now, my husband got these for his kit too, and he could not get it down, but I'm really determined that I want to be able to take this before I start the tinctures for the Parasite cleanse. So he had a couple extra packets, so I practiced with a packet or so to try to get a couple tips to be able to take this without gagging or throwing it up. Gutty contains chia seeds, psyllium husk, bentonite clay, and activated charcoal. So it's not pretty. Doesn't taste great. Doesn't taste bad, but doesn't taste great. I would say the biggest hurdles are the chia seeds. It's like the texture of it. And the psyllium husk gets like stuck on my tongue, which is kind of gross. So the packet instructions say to mix 2 cups of water with this whole packet and then chug it. You have to drink it really quickly because the chia seeds will start to gel in the bottom, and then that's when a lot of people have trouble getting it down. It's also recommended to add a tablespoon of lime juice to your 2 cups of water to help with the flavor. So I have lime juice here, and I have a cup with water, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this to a cup of water, just a little bit of water, and then chug that. And then I'm going to compose myself, grab a little bit more, add a little bit more water, and drink that. I'm only going to add enough water to like liquefy this enough to drink it. And then I'll focus on getting enough water down after I take the whole packet. But there's a lot in here. There's a lot in here. So the past couple days I've just been able to take a half a packet. I'm hoping to take a whole packet today because I know it's good for me. That was actually one of my most motivating factors, was to look online. This is a mucoid plaque cleanse. This is a pre-parasite cleanse to make sure your detox pathways are open, one of the most important pathways being pooping. And so look up mucoid plaque. Actually, I'll put a link in the description for the article I read. It has a couple of pictures, it's not too graphic, but when you read what it is, where it's stuck, and what it could be doing in your body, you really want to get it out. It's pretty gross. I mean, this whole process is kind of gross, but that's what the Gutty helps with, is moving the mucoid plaque out of your intestines to make plenty of space, to make plenty of room to let your detox pathway open so that none of these parasites that you're hopefully pushing out get stuck in your body. So I'm going to mix this up and I'll show you. You can see the funny faces I make when I try to get this down. It's going down. I can do it today. It's just gonna take a little while. So my best tips: break the packet up into small amounts of water so it doesn't all gel up and it gives you time to get used to the consistency. Also, be very liberal with the lime juice. Or, this is supposed to be done on an empty stomach, but if you need to add a different type of juice to help, grape juice, cranberry juice, whatever you need, then I recommend that. I've listened to a lot of Kim Rogers podcasts, and her biggest, saying, motto is just get the stuff in your body. Get the herbs in your body. It doesn't matter if you don't do it perfectly, just get it in your body. So that's why the past couple of days I was only able to get a half a packet in. That's fine. It's better than nothing. Just get it in your body. Work your way up to it and get used to it. The Gutty is not necessary for the cleanse, but like I said, once you look up what it's for and what it helps clean out, it is very motivating. So you can skip the Gutty if you want to, but I really want to take the Gutty. So I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna make all the faces I need to get all those chia seeds in my body. According to the directions that come with your Parafy Kit, you are to take the Gutty packet first thing in the morning on an empty stomach for 3 days in a row. Then you take a 4-day break, and then you start your Parafy cleanse. So this is day 1 for me of the Gutty packet. I'll do 2 more days. I'm not gonna film it. You don't have to watch me gag this down for 2 more days, but that's what I'm gonna do. Take this Gutty packet 2 more times after today, then wait a little bit and start the cleanse. So I'll let you know if the Gutty packet does anything for me, if I pull out any mucoid plaque that looks like the pictures online, which is gross, but better out than in. Day 2 is done, and today was much easier than yesterday. I think it's because I knew what to expect. I knew what the drink tasted like. I knew what it felt like. I knew what system worked for me, how much water versus how much Gutty product. And I was very liberal with the lime juice. I think that helped a lot too. Yesterday it took me like 45 minutes to get it all in my body because I had to take breaks in between because it would make me gag if I tried to drink too much too quickly. Today I got it all down in 10 minutes and it wasn't that big of a deal. So maybe if it's difficult on day 1, stick with it, and maybe it can get better on day 2. Some people will just put it all together and chug it, and they can do it that way. I cannot. I would throw it up if I tried to do it that way. So know yourself, know what works for you. And now I'm gonna wait 2 hours before I eat, like the packet says. We're going to church this morning, so I will just eat later, and that'll be pretty easy. One good question that my husband had when we looked at Gutty was, is this gonna make me run to the bathroom? Is this like a laxative? And in my experience, no. So it was like mid-afternoon by the time I went to the bathroom yesterday, and it was not a big deal. It was like normal, no pain, no pushing, no discomfort, anything like that. It was just normal, and then whatever the Gutty packet pushed through my system also came out as well. So if that's a concern for you, if you're concerned about the pain, this is not like a laxative pushing stuff out of you. It's just gently cleansing things as it goes through. I've heard, I think Kim Rogers and a lot of other people say that this cleanse is gentle and effective, and so far that has been the case for me. I didn't see a lot of mucoid plaque come out yesterday, but I didn't look that hard, so we'll see if anything happens today. I completed the 3rd day of Gutty. Here is my empty packet to show you. I drank it all. It did get easier each day. I knew what I was going to have to drink, and so it was fine. I did run out of lime juice, so I used some lemon juice instead, and that also did help, just like the lime juice did, just to give it a bit more flavor so it doesn't taste like what it tastes like. I expected the Gutty to work quickly, to have to go to the bathroom sometime after taking the packet, especially because you don't eat for 2 hours after you drink the drink. But by yesterday evening, I still had not gone to the bathroom, and it was starting to get uncomfortable. So I have a reusable enema kit, so I set up a water enema, and that was able to flush everything out of my system and give me some relief to start fresh this morning. When I did that, I did see plenty of stuff that was not stool. I'm not a digger. Like, there are some people who will get like a plastic fork and sort through their poop. That is not me. If it's visible on the surface, then I will look and let you know what I see. But yeah, I saw some things floating that were not stool. So it was the same color as stool, but it was a weird, like, fibrous texture. It was not stool. So that was encouraging to get that out of my body. And I think I probably had problems yesterday because I didn't drink enough water. I thought I was drinking enough, but you know, that chia seed and psyllium husk and all that stuff probably absorbs a lot of water as it's coming through your system. And so today's plan after taking this packet of Gutty was to just drink as much water as possible to help things move through my system and clean things out. So in case you're not a huge fan of water or you think you're drinking enough, drink more because you might need it. Day 3 Gutty update. I did go to the bathroom. Thank you, copious amounts of water. And while I didn't see anything that I would expect to be mucoid plaque, or not anything like I saw last night, I did see some white stringy things attached to my stool. So that could be parasitic stuff moving around in there. And even if it's not parasites, it's still better out of my body than in my body. So maybe you'll start to see things moving just by taking Gutty. But if not, then the tinctures will help as it comes along behind after you've cleaned and cleared that detox pathway. One of the things that I'm going to be doing during this detox to support my body is to rebound. This is a mini trampoline that I got a couple of weeks ago, and I've been using it every day to help with lymphatic drainage. If you're not familiar, the lymphatic system helps rid your body of waste. So the excess waste that your cells, your tissues have go into your lymphatic system and then are excreted. But here's the thing, there's no pump on your lymphatic system. It is dependent on your movement. And while I am very active during the day, rebounding really helps move that lymphatic system much better. By jumping up and down on the rebounder, you're opening and closing valves, you're pushing things through, and it just really helps rid your body of that waste if it's having a hard time. So I'm going to go rebound for a couple of minutes. You can do this for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or up to 30-minute workouts. I'm actually going to do a workout, but I've also done the 2-minute bounce, and my kids really enjoy doing it with me too. So if you're looking for another option to stay healthy or get that lymphatic system moving, a mini trampoline could be an option for you. Good morning. It's a couple days after finishing Gutty, and I'm excited to now start my tinctures. I'm going to show you how I make them for before breakfast, before lunch, and before dinner, according to the instructions that I got from RogersHood Apothecary in my Parafy Kit. The instructions for taking these tinctures are on this little card that come in your kit. They packed a lot of great information on this card, and so I keep it handy in my kitchen near my tinctures so I can reference it regularly if I have a question or need reminded of what to take when. But basically, in the morning on an empty stomach, you take all 3 tinctures, 15 drops of each. Make sure you shake the bottle before you put it in your drink. Second dose, 4 hours later on an empty stomach. So before lunch, take 15 drops of just Parafy and Metal Flush, so you don't take Sustain at lunchtime. Third dose, which is 4 hours later on an empty stomach, so before dinner, take 15 drops of all of them. I know there was a podcast I listened to with Kim Rogers, and one of her main goals was to make this as simple as possible, that you don't have to jump through hoops. It's not challenging to remember what to do. You just take 15 drops of each, except for lunchtime you don't take Sustain. But that's pretty simple. I'm pretty sure I can handle that. And then at nighttime before bed, you take a capsule of Cinnabon, which I'll show you then too. But yeah, that's it. One other reminder, I do recall another podcast of Kim Rogers. Like I said, I did a lot of research. For her, she said if you skip a dose or if you forget or you've already eaten lunch and then you take it, it's more important that you get the herbs in your body than it is that you take it at exactly the right time. Like, this does not have to be absolutely perfect. You're not going to ruin anything. Just get the herbs in your body, get them working, and they will do their jobs. While I'm thinking of it and have the time, I'm just going to show you the Cinnabon capsules. This is the binder that you take before bed, so as your body releases all those toxins and parasites and stuff, this helps flush it out of your body. So it's just a normal capsule, not a big deal. If you can take pills, you can take this. It doesn't taste like anything or smell like anything. But if you can't take capsules or if you have kiddos on this protocol, the instructions do give alternate options of you can open the capsule into some applesauce and take it that way before bed. So I thought that was a really great tip from the team. If you can't take the capsule or have a kid, you can still get your binder in because it's really important. And now it's time to mix up my tincture. I have these tiny stainless steel shot glasses that I like to use for tinctures. So to this we add, shake it, 15 drops of Parafy. I'm pretty sure it's fine if it's not exact. My husband is also doing this cleanse, and he just does, like, he looks at the lines here on the dropper. You see there are measurements on the dropper. So he knows which one of those is 15 drops, and we'll just do a dropper full. And that's it. Now, you can take it like this, but they also say you can dilute it a little bit with some water, tea, juice, something to make it more enjoyable. And in my experiences, tinctures don't taste great. So I like to use grape juice to help hide the flavor. So I add about that much, and it's time to gulp it. Here we go. Doesn't taste great. The grape juice helps a lot. I have tasted much worse tinctures than this one, so I don't think I'll have any problem taking this one. Better than the Gutty, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, moving forward, I will just like gulp it back and try to get it in my throat so it doesn't touch my tongue. But again, I've tasted way worse. This should be fine moving forward. You can do it too. Moving forward, I think I will probably set alarms on my watch or my phone to remind me to take these tinctures. One, because it's a new habit I have to add into my life. And two, I don't know about you, but before meal times can be quite busy. I'm a mom of 3 little kids, so when I'm trying to serve food and everyone's yelling and hangry, I will most likely forget to take this. So I'm going to set it for about 30 minutes before each meal. It does say on the instructions that ideally it's like you take the tincture and about 30 minutes later you eat. Again, not super important. You just need to get the herbs in your body to get those parasites, candida, and metal out. But ideally, that's what I'm going to set my alarm for, and then hopefully I can work that into my everyday life. My husband is doing this cleanse along with me, so he will take his pre-made tincture in a little mason jar like this in his lunchbox. So about 11:30 or whenever he remembers, he can take the tincture and then take his lunch break whenever he does that. But if you're on the go during the day, you can just pre-make it. We have these mason jars that are easy peasy to throw in your lunchbox, and you can keep up with your cleanse. I realized that I was not going to be at home for lunchtime today, so I took my own advice and I mixed up my 2 tinctures in here with some grape juice, threw a lid on it, and now it's time to have it before lunch. Okay, good to go. It's about 5:30. We usually eat dinner at 6, and so I have my tinctures here with a little bit of grape juice, and down it goes. This is pretty easy. There you go. See you later when I take my cinnamon. Unfortunately, I forgot to take a video of me taking the cinnamon capsule, but it's literally put the capsule in my mouth, take a drink of water, and it's done. So you get the gist. Guys, it's day 2 of the cleanse, and I'm pretty confident I passed a worm today. What? Oh, I'm thinking it was a roundworm. I looked at the RogersHood Apothecary like online documents of all the different types of worms and parasites and things like that. You can get them as a free download on her website. So after looking at those, I think it's a roundworm, and I'm guessing it was about 8 inches long, which I could not believe. It was long and skinny and white, and I have no idea what else it would be except for a worm. And knowing that I'm on day 2 of the cleanse, the herbs must be working. But that just totally blew my mind. I was thinking, we all know we want these things out of us, but when you actually see one come out, it is quite freaky. But I'm glad it's working so far, and maybe I'll see some more. This might be an unpopular opinion, but you should know what your poop is supposed to look like. Did I get your attention? I hope so. I think this is a really important topic and very few people talk about it. Knowing what your poop is supposed to look like is a health marker. It can tell you about things that are going on in your body. And you should know what a healthy stool looks like to know if you're having one or not. And if you're not, it can tell you a lot about what you might need to change. You should be having an easy bowel movement once or twice a day. Here's a little background on me. Growing up, I thought it was normal to have a bowel movement once a week. It was painful, it was uncomfortable, and I had no idea that I was supposed to be going every day because no one told me. This is terrible. I went on like this for years. And so while it's not cute, and I never thought I'd be talking about poop on the internet, here I am because it is important. So if no one ever taught you what your stool is supposed to look like or feel like or how often you go, it's your job to learn more. I'm not going to tell you all the things. You can go research them yourself. But you do need to know these things, especially if you have kiddos. It's really important for me as I help my kids go to the bathroom that they're not constipated because I know all of the negative side effects that come along with being constipated. And this is a really big issue, at least in the United States. I know many people off the top of my head who struggle with this regularly, kids and adults, and this is not normal. This should not be happening to you. You need to poop once a day, at least. And if you're not, we need to work on some things. Okay, one more thought and then I will step off my soapbox. And that is, when I've helped my kids change their diapers or go to the bathroom or whatever, I've heard some adults say, "Ooh, poop is so gross, yucky, ugh," whatever. And it doesn't smell great. It's not a super fun job to help my kids go to the bathroom, but it is an extremely important function in their bodies. And so I don't want them to think that pooping is bad because it's good. God made our bodies to poop to get rid of that waste that our bodies don't need. He made our bodies so intelligently, and he did not make a mistake when he made us poop. It's so important. So I never want my kids to feel ashamed or embarrassed of the fact that they poop, because they should poop. Especially with my story growing up, I didn't know any differently and it caused a lot of problems. And so I want my kids to know how often they should go, what it should feel like, and that it's completely normal and healthy. So if you received that message growing up, or maybe you give that to other kids, maybe think about changing that concept, because this is the way our bodies function, the way they're supposed to work, and the good way that our bodies get rid of yucky things like parasites, like candida, like heavy metals, like any waste that we have in our bodies. And it is so good. So make sure you go and you know that it is a good function of your body. It is day 10 of the Parafy cleanse, and I hope the camera is not shaking because my arm is exhausted from working out. I just finished my perspiring for the day to keep that detox pathway open. Did some weights for 15 minutes, did the trampoline for about 5 minutes, and I am in need of a shower. But I wanted to give you a worm update. Yesterday, day 9, I passed about 6 white worms, skinny white worms again. They were each about 4 inches long. And then today I passed another 4-inch long worm. So things are definitely moving. I'm feeling pretty good, and I hope to continue seeing that stuff out of my body. As I give you updates along the way of my experience with the Parafy cleanse, I also want to tell you what other things I'm doing alongside the tinctures, because I'm not just doing the tinctures, and that may affect my final result. So I just want to tell you what I'm doing in case you want to try them too, or so you know how they may affect the overall experience. As you saw, I am rebounding daily to help my lymphatic system get rid of any extra waste that is flowing through that system. I'm drinking lots of water and getting lots of steps. I get 9,000 to 10,000 steps a day just by being a mom of 3 little kids. I am not following the diet that accompanies the Parafy cleanse. RogersHood has some guidelines or some diet recommendations while you do the cleanse to possibly help you. You don't have to do them, and I'm not doing them because that would just be one extra thing in my life that I feel like I cannot tackle right now. Plus, we eat quite healthy. I cook everything from scratch. We eat lots of fruits and vegetables and meat and grains and dairy and the whole gamut of things in the healthiest way possible and as close to the way as God made them as possible. So I feel pretty good about our food intake, so I am not doing the diet. Another thing that I'm doing to aid my cleanse is coffee enemas. Now, I've been doing these since before the Parafy cleanse. I do them about once a week for maintenance, but especially now that I'm doing the Parafy cleanse, I make sure to get them into my routine. Coffee enemas are not for everyone, and you should do your research or talk to your medical team before you decide to do them. But for me, they've been a lot of help. For those who aren't familiar with coffee enemas, you brew a special type of coffee, put it in your reusable enema kit, and then you put it up your bum for a certain amount of time, and then excrete it into the toilet. And it can help detoxify a lot of the things in your body. It sounds super weird, so again, do your own research, but I have found it to be helpful. Hey everybody, it's day 12 of the Parafy cleanse, and I wanted to give you an update. First of all, I passed 2 more worms today, so a 3-inch one and a 6-inch one, and instead of the skinny white, the 6-inch one was a little bit whiter, had a little bit more substance, and definitely looked like a worm. So again, gross, but glad it's out. Number 2, I have been feeling bloated lately, and this happened last week as well. So last week I felt bloated for like 2 days, and then all of a sudden all the bloating went away and I felt better. I didn't see anything pass when that happened, but I'm wondering if it coincided with me getting rid of a parasite or something. And so I've been feeling bloated for the past 2 days or so. So I'm hoping that soon that will just go away and I will wake up feeling all better. We'll see. Third thing, I really stink. Like, I smell terrible. And I know that's part of the cleanse, getting those toxins out, but wow, my armpits smell so bad. So maybe you want to make sure you have extra deodorant in your purse or something if you're planning to go out. But yeah, I will like wash my armpits in the shower, step out of the shower and sniff them, and they still stink. It's just constant. But hopefully that means things are moving out. And that's another reason you need to make sure you're regularly perspiring to get that stuff out. Lastly, tonight, it's nighttime, you can tell. These are blue blocker glasses. My kids are asleep and I'm going to relax a little bit before I go to bed, and I'm going to do that by doing a fulvic soak. So fulvic soak comes in the ultimate kit. I don't know, I said that at the beginning. Or you can buy it separately. And these are just minerals, and you put them in a basin of water and then soak your feet. You can do a full bath, but I'm just gonna do my feet. It says use half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. I'm going to do a full 1 teaspoon in the water, and you let it soak for 30 minutes and then let it rest for 30 minutes and then see what kind of floaties came out of your feet. So I'm excited and again slightly disgusted to see what comes out, but I'm going to do this this evening to kind of relax and see how it works. Got myself a snack, got myself some books, got some water. I'm all kind of set up here to just hang out for a little while. So I'll show you. This is the basin I'm going to use. I did clean it first, so hopefully any floaties you see will be coming out of me, not from the bin. But here's the fulvic soak. I already got some on my hand, trying to open the package. Half and 1. It does turn the liquid black. It doesn't smell great, but what part of a cleanse smells great? None of it so far. There you go. Pro tip, if you're going to do this somewhere not in your bathroom, make sure you have a towel nearby so you're not finished with your soak and then have to waddle through your house with wet feet. Here I go. See you in a little while. Okay. While I'm sitting here with my feet in the water, my feet, like the bottoms are like tingling. Like it feels like things are coming out of my feet. And that is a weird sensation. I'm done with the foot soak. I let it sit for 30 minutes and now we're gonna check out the water. The instructions say to turn the lights off and to use a flashlight or use the flash on your phone to see what is floating on top of the water. So I'm going to turn off the overhead light, and I grabbed a flashlight so we can see what the water looks like. So I think all of the white stuff floating in the water are heavy metals. Some people say they've seen worms come out of their feet. I just see the white, shiny stuff. But a lot of it. It is day whatever I write on the screen, and I think in the last clip I mentioned that I was feeling quite bloated. And that was actually my menstrual cycle. So fellas, you will not have to worry about that one. But now that that's gone, I've been noticing an increase in energy. And I didn't really believe other people when they said they felt more energy, but I'm feeling it. Like, I wake up in the morning and I feel rested. And I have not felt that way since high school. And so that is pretty exciting. Guess my load is lightening and my body's cortisol is regulating a little bit more. I'm tired at nighttime and I can wake up in the morning. And so that's really encouraging to me as I keep going, and I hope I can keep up with it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Glad to give that update. Something else that I've noticed during this cleanse is some bumps have disappeared. So I used to have little bumps on my jawline and on my upper arm, and I was always under the assumption it was KP or keratosis pilarsis, if that's how you say it. And I've tried lots of things to make it go away and nothing worked, but now it's smooth. I'm not wearing any makeup, but there are no bumps there. My upper arms are smooth the first time since as long as I can remember. They're about 90 to 95% smooth, no more bumps on them. And interestingly, one of my kiddos has bumps on his arm too. So I'm wondering if he has a parasite load as well. Well, I have officially finished my Parafy cleanse, and I'm really happy I did it. I'm looking forward to sharing my final thoughts in case it helps you decide whether or not to pursue this cleanse for you or your family. My husband and I did this cleanse together. I saw lots of worms pass and I felt better at the end. He didn't see anything pass and he feels about the same afterward. Or I know there are lots of people who do the cleanse but have a lot more die-off symptoms in the process. If I had to guess why my husband didn't see or feel any changes, I would say it's probably because his body is just strong and resilient. He has always had a good immune system. He rarely gets sick, even as a child. He was also part of a missionary family, and they lived in Asia for a couple of years, and they did some parasite cleanses while they were there. So I'm not terribly surprised he didn't feel a difference, but you can also say there are parasites that you can't see. So the herbs could have affected parasites that you couldn't see, worms that you couldn't see, and they could have exited his body. Either way, it was good for him to do it, and I'm glad he did it with me. 1, so he can get some of that stuff out, and 2, so you have more results to work with. So what changes have I seen in my body since doing the cleanse? Probably the biggest and most impactful is more energy. I'm able to wake up in the morning feeling rested and wake up before my kids, which I can't even believe. I never thought that was possible. I've struggled to wake up rested for as long as I can remember, and so this is really exciting for me. Also having clearer skin, getting the bumps off of my face and my arms like I shared in a previous clip. I've had those bumps on me for as long as I can remember. So sometimes I'll find myself just like rubbing my arm and I can't believe that most of the bumps are gone. So again, equally disgusted and happy at the progress. And regular bowel movements, because that's one of the biggest perks of this cleanse. I feel like it did help my gut, got rid of some of the bad stuff in there, and so things are just moving along more smoothly. And lastly, it was satisfying to eject those things from my body. They don't belong in there. I want them out. So to see them and get them out of my body was really satisfying in its own gross way. Will I do this cleanse again? Yes, I will. I was happy with the results the first time around, but RogersHood Apothecary does recommend the first time you cleanse to do 2 or 3 rounds back to back. So you do 1 round, take a week off, another round, week off, etc. If you think about it, these parasites have been in my body for as long as I've been alive, and I've never, ever tried to cleanse them. So there's probably a buildup in there, and it's going to take more than 1 round to get them out. You also want to target the life cycle of the parasite. So whether it's an egg or full size or laying more eggs or whatever, doing multiple rounds will help get rid of that life cycle, will break it. Also, the parasites can live in more than just my digestive tract. They can live in other parts of my body. So more than 1 cleanse can help get those out in different parts of my body as well. As gross as it is to say, it's true, and I want them out. I also intend to include my kids next time around. The detox was really gentle for me, so I'm hoping it'll be the same for them. They're so young that their parasite load shouldn't be too heavy, and hopefully their detox symptoms won't be too bad, but I will be on the lookout for those. But I was really happy with how I felt. The dosing is a little bit different for the kids, but otherwise they take the same herbs, and hopefully we can see the same results. RogersHood Apothecary does have semi-regular sales, so keep your eye out for those. I will include a link to their website in the description of this video so you can check out all of the details for yourself. The last thing I want to say is a huge thank you to RogersHood Apothecary and Kim Rogers in particular for sharing the good news about the Parasite Cleanse and how it can help so many people. It has made a difference in my life and will continue to make a difference in our lives, and I'm super grateful for the ease of it. It was so simple to take the herbs and to get them into our daily routine. For the price point, that it's not going to break the bank to do this for myself and for my kiddos, because I think it's really important for our health. And for all of the helpful information that she shares on all of the different platforms, on different podcasts, on the new updated website, in the box with all the instructions. She's been really thorough with giving information about parasites and parasite cleanses, and I think it will impact a lot of people really well. Thank you for making sure your products are full of natural ingredients that really work and can make a difference in people's lives. I was really happy with my experience, and if you've done the Parasite Cleanse, leave a comment below and tell me how yours turned out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye, everybody.